I think every culture has some kind of folklore tale dedicated to sewing, spinning, weaving, knitting, any kind of textile art, really. Hi, I'm Alexis. I like to knit. I like to listen and share stories of things that I find interesting. The story I wanted to share with you today originates in Japan, and it's called Tsuru No Ongaeshi. I have my project that I've been working on right here. I talked about it in my last couple videos, but it's the Kyoto keyhole top made by Rosh, and I'm going to try to work on it while I'm reading this story, but we'll see how well that goes. Long, long ago, in a far-off land, there lived a young man. One day, while working on his farm, a brilliant white crane came swooping down and crashed to the ground at his feet. The man noticed an arrow pierced through one of its wings. Taking pity on the crane, he pulled out the arrow and cleaned up its wound. Thanks to his care, the bird was soon able to fly again. The young man sent the crane back to the sky, saying, "Be careful for the hunters." The crane circled 3 times over his head, let out a cry as if in thanks, and then flew away. As the day grew dark, the young man made his way home. When he arrived, he was surprised by the sight of a beautiful woman standing in his doorway. He had never seen her before. "Welcome home. I am your wife," said the woman. The young man was surprised and said, "I am very poor and I cannot support you." The woman answered, pointing to a small sack, "Don't worry, I have plenty of rice," and began preparing dinner. The young man was puzzled, but the two began a happy life together. And the rice sack mysteriously remained full, always. One day the wife asked the man to build her a weaving room. When it was completed, she said, "You must promise to never peek inside." And with that, she shut herself in her room. Finally, after 7 days, the loom stopped, and the wife came out of the room looking very sickly thin, but she was holding the most beautiful cloth that the man had ever seen. "Take this cloth to the marketplace, and it will sell for a high price," said the wife. The next day, the young man brought it to town and did exactly as his wife said. It sold for a very fair price, and he was very happy when he came home. The wife then returned to the room to resume weaving. Curiosity began to overtake the man, and he wondered how she could make such beautiful cloth without having any thread. Soon he couldn't stand it any longer and peeked inside the room. Instead of his wife, he found a swan in her place, plucking out its own feathers, weaving them into beautiful, luxurious cloth. The bird then noticed the man peeking in the room and said, "I'm the crane you saved from the hunters. I wanted to return your kind favor, so I became your wife. But now that you have seen my true form, I can no longer stay here." The crane then handed the man the beautiful finished cloth and said, "I leave this with you to remember me by." The crane then abruptly flew off into the air and disappeared forever. I know this story doesn't make a lot of sense, but I feel like a lot of stories or folklore don't really make a ton of sense, but I still find them equally as interesting. I love seeing how different cultures interpret textile arts into their folklore. I think anyone who works with fiber arts would agree that it's intriguing when you hear your hobby mentioned in any conversation, but I am especially interested in folklore and cryptid tales, so I plan about talking about different stories from different countries next. I'd be really interested to know in what anyone else is wanting to hear, so if you have a country or a story that you recommend to me or think I would like, or you want to hear discussed, please leave it in a comment down below. I would really appreciate it. And while you're down there, if you want to like and subscribe, that would be really cool too. It helps me out because I am such a small channel, so it lets YouTube know that my videos are worth watching. I would have loved to know a little bit more about the rice bag in this story. I love that it never ran out and that it always stayed full, but maybe there's a part of this story that I'm missing or that just didn't show up on this website. I'll link the story down below in the description if you want to go ahead and read it for yourself. It is a short read. Thank you again for listening and spending your time with me. I hope to see you on another one of my videos soon. Take care of yourself. What do I think the morals of this story are? There's beauty in self-sacrifice. You sacrifice things in love, or for love, maybe, in that matter. Respect your partner's privacy, or they will turn into a crane and abandon you in their selkie form. May your rice bags never empty.